Yep. And then I will try to share with Sabina. And and please, if you have any problem with the sound or with anything, just send me a comment. Yep. So first of all, I would like to thank all of our audience to attending again this workshop. And during the previous interviews, we have presented the point of view of business sector on how this cross-disciplinary courses is important for them. Now we have Professor Sabina Stramesh Blankes. Sabina is a professor at the Arctic University of Norway. And actually, she will introduce herself, but I would like to say a few words about her. So Sabina is professor of economic geology, and she work a lot with business and mining sector. So I think she is one of the best professor here at Tromsø University that can reflect on the experience of this collaboration between academia and business. So I think this is very, very short introduction about you, Sabina. So maybe you can introduce yourself by better way.
Yeah, thank you, Tamer. Yes, as you said, my name is Sabina Stermic-Palinkas. I'm associate professor here at University of Tromsø, the Arctic University of Norway in ore geology, mineral resources, and my background is in geochemistry. I joined University of Tromsø in September 2015, so I have been here for a little bit longer than 6 years. I have a master and a PhD degrees from University of Zagreb in Croatia. After I got my PhD in Croatia, I started there my position as assistant professor in field of geochemistry. And after that, I moved to New Zealand, where I was working for 2 years in the field of epithermal gold and silver deposits. After 2 years in New Zealand, I applied for position in Tromsø, and then I moved here with my
Okay,
family.
so from this nice introduction, I think you have two type of experience. First of all, you moved from country to another to Tromsø, and also I think your background is geochemistry, and now you are going a bit toward economic geology or ore geology. So you have this sort of two legs, one in geochemistry and one in economics. This is perfect. So I would like to ask you about your connection with the industry. So are you working with the industry? Are you have some research project there?
Yeah, so first maybe I can start when I came to Tromsø. I inherited a project and a PhD student working in that project. So the project was funded through Tromsø Kommune, but it was supported by Sintef, and also, though it was not funded through Nusir As, the mining company, the field of activity or the area of activity was related with the historical place of mining for copper in Finnmark at that time. So this was kind of my first contact with industry in Norway. Then I was quite lucky when I came to Norway that at that time there was an active cluster, Mineral Klynge Norge, which was a cluster of industrial partners, public authorities, and academia. And they were active in the field of the whole value chain in mining sector. So that was, again, very strong connection that I got with industry in Norway. And through Mineral Klynge Norge, I got, in fact, my first research money in Norway. I got a funding. It was approximately 200,000 kronas for research on, and it was really fundamental research on origin of volcanogenic massive sulfide deposits in northern Norway, and the funding was provided 50% through Mineral Klingen Norge, 50% through LNS, the mining company. So basically, this first amount of money really was real seed money, because when I started that work in VMS deposits in northern Norway, that was a really excellent link to extend my research network in Norway. So then I got in contact with researchers from University of Bergen.
Mhm.
They had long-lasting expertise in both in VMS deposits on land, but also they are developing a kind of completely new research field on recent hydrothermal activity along mid-ocean ridges. So this first money that I got from industry really triggered something bigger.
Mm.
And now we have another project at University of Tromsø. So this is kind of extension, or let's say extension of what we have started in 2016 with this first seed money. I have a project funded by Equinor Academia of Thale. So Equinor, it's another, as you know, it's the largest oil and gas company in Norway.
Mhm.
But also they are very devoted to fundamental research. So they are supporting several research projects per year at different universities. And I was lucky to get one among of these quite prestige research projects. So again, though it's funded through industrial money, again, we are talking about fundamental research.
Okay. I think this is very interesting. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is
Sure.
very interesting because you say you started with 200,000 krona from business sector, but it's funded fundamental research. So this means that business sector are interesting to give money for academia for fundamental, not for something for themselves.
It seems so. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems so. And through this first seed money, we also it was enough to educate three master students. So in fact, four. So one was working in Sulitelma, and two others were working in Upper Allochthon of Caledonites. So students were combining, and probably that will bring us to another kind of more interdisciplinary approach.
Mm.
But then from this amount of money, we supported the fieldwork and analytical work of three master students working as a team. So one of them was working on structural geology, because all mineral deposits in northern Norway, they are strongly affected by deformations and metamorphism. So it was important to have structural geologists in the team. Then another student was working on geochemistry, on evolution of fluids and so on. So it was
Mm.
complete ore forming oriented thesis. And then the third student, she was working on environmental aspects of that particular mineralization.
Mm.
So we combine, let's say, hard rock geology, geochemistry, and environmental geology, geochemistry in the same project.
Yep, this is very interesting actually. But you said that uh, this fund you are using for PhD master student. So this means that you involve also master students in this research project. Do you involve bachelor students somehow to some extent?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, but I had one student who was working on so-called project in geology, because here in Tromsø, as you know, we don't have a classical, let's say, small diploma thesis or something that at some other universities in Europe exist.
Mm.
So for instance, again, when I'm comparing with my experience with teaching in Croatia, there at the end of bachelor thesis, students always have a very small project, but it's really kind of mini research project where
Mm.
they have to put some effort. Basically, they are working over one semester on very small research
See this
project.
also, yeah.
Yeah. and they have to defend that project in front of committee. So it looks really like a defense of master thesis. But it's just that the volume of amount of work, it's of course much smaller, and the topics are less demanding because of course students at that level, they don't have enough skills to do some really, really deep
Mm,
science.
mm,
But still they're exposed to real research. They're spending some time in lab or in the field, depending on, of course, on their projects and on their supervisors. Yeah, so here we have opportunity to do something similar, but it's very individual, and some of students at the third year, they can take that so-called project in geology. It's a 10 credit course,
mm,
and basically in this same, when I'm still talking about this first seed money that I got through Mineral Klingenorge and LNS, I had one bachelor student. She got a bachelor degree with us. After that, she moved to NTNU, where she completed her master thesis, and now we are collaborating again because she got a job in Skaland graphite mine on Senja. So now we are again in contact, and last week she was invited to present her company on UIT Raw Material University Days. So yeah, this is one of examples where we
mm.
can include some of bachelor students also in our research.
Yeah, this is good. Actually, if you allow me to fish few words from your words, you said two things that I would like to reflect a bit on that. First of all, you said that this 200,000 krona, the first seed, is trigger first sort of collaboration between you and Bergen University, and then from this collaboration, academic collaboration, this trigger another funding for other activities, again from business sector. And you said that one of your bachelor students, this is the second point, one of your bachelor students who try to involve in this process, she succeeded to go to master or maybe PhD
No, it was master.
master
Yeah.
in another
Mhm.
university related to economic geology, and now she is involved in the business sector itself, and she is working now with the same company or with other company. So this means that such type of collaboration between business and academic first can give opportunity for us as a researcher to connect between researchers themselves, and also give opportunity for students to explore their future. So do you think you can a bit elaborate about this point?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you summarize here. So I think that it's very, very important for students to be exposed to industry during their study years. This is the one of way to show them where they can find their jobs. I mean, we should be honest that only a very, very small percentage of our students will end up in academia or in really fundamental research,
Mhm.
but we have to prepare our students for real life kind of linked with industry, and not only industry. Also, it would be probably very good to expose students to some to see how public authority works, like for instance a mineral directorate or a Norwegian petroleum directorate. So all these governmental institutions that
Mm,
also have both research, but they are probably asking for some additional skills from our students that we usually don't provide, like understanding of legislation, working with a lot of paperwork and things
mm,
like that.
mm. So maybe I again interrupt you about this point. Do you have experience like one student came to you and say, okay, I have applied for this job at this governmental issue or governmental body, and unfortunately I didn't get it because my experience in this topic is not high enough?
No,
So
I
do you,
don't.
okay.
Yeah, maybe there are cases like that, but usually when you're interviewed for job, probably a potential employer will not really exactly tell you, we haven't offered your position because of this particular reason. So
Okay, but this
no, yeah.
reason may be under the table.
Yeah, or
Okay.
yes, or at least we will make our students more ready for the market if we provide them with some soft skills that we
Yep.
can. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. But you didn't comment on the second point about this collaboration between research group and research group, academia based on this business interaction or business
Yeah.
collaboration. Yeah.
So yes, I mean this first amount of money was not really, yeah, it's not a lot for, at least not from Norwegian perspective, but it was really enough to show that there are some activities. Also, it kind of put on the paper what are my commitments, what kind of research I want to conduct. So for me as a newcomer to this country, it was extremely important to start to establish
Mm,
my own research.
mm.
So I'm extremely grateful for that first project. I mean, for all of them, but that one, it's very special.
Yeah. But your experience with the mining sector or business sector started from 2015, or you had something
16.
before?
And
16.
well, when I was in New Zealand
Mm,
there, that project was also kind of supported through industry. So that project, so I was a researcher at University of Auckland, and the project was funded mostly through Ministry of Employment and Economy, something like that. But also it was supported by a few mining companies.
okay.
So I had, let's say, on daily basis, I had contact with a gold company, Newman Gold Company in Waihi, on North Island of New Zealand. But that I don't see that as my own project because I was hired to the project. So I had
Mm,
a really good connection with industrial and support in terms that I had access to samples and so on. But the funding was gained by my PI before I came to New Zealand.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But you at
Then
least have something before.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then before that, for almost 15 years, I was working in Southern Europe
Mm,
on the in the area of ex-Yugoslavia. So though I'm from Croatia, in Croatia we don't have any active mine of metals. So I did all my thesis were kind of, all my work was in Bosnia, in Macedonia, Kosovo, Montenegro, and yeah, kind of the rest of ex-Yugoslavia space. And there we had, I mean, mining sector there before 2015 was kind of suffering from, still we were after war and the mining sector was not really strong. So now what I can see, especially in Serbia, there are many international companies. This mining sector, it's much more alive than it was before I left that area. But always we had a new kind of support, not in terms of funding, because at that moment companies were not really able to provide money, but they were always very supportive in terms that we could access their sites. They were providing us with historical data, giving us support in terms of if you need a local geological support, in terms that some people follow you in the field, or even in terms of vehicles and so on. And then, because I'm still active in that area, now we are still, I mean, we have been before COVID times, and I hope that we will continue to do same thing. I'm still organizing the field trip in ore geology course for Norwegian students in Macedonia. Sorry, I have my
no, bro.
phone.
Yep.
I will just mute and I will turn my
Yeah,
phone off.
please. Yeah, please go.
Sorry for this.
No problem, Sabina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So yeah. So every year I am bringing Norwegian students to Macedonia,
Mm,
and that field activity, it's organized like a 5-day field work. And in those 5 days, we are visiting 5 different ore deposits, and 4 of them are active sites.
Yep.
So basically, we are supported by four different mining companies because they are providing us with all field equipment, field vehicles, their geological team, their safety team, and so on.
Yep. Actually, I have a comment on this point. Maybe the audience don't know that I am also geologist. Maybe not or economic geologist, but I am petrologist, and I would love to join this field trip as a student with you.
Yes,
Yep.
I
So
hope that
consider me in future as a student.
yeah, I think that you will find that area very interesting. And yeah,
Yep.
we should discuss that. So hopefully next May we will be able again to travel as before COVID.
Yeah.
So you are more
So
than
we can
welcome
do
to.
something. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yeah.
Thanks, Sabine. Um, you have highlighted a lot of points, and you showed that there is sort of great integration between mining sector and what you are doing. So do you think this integration also, even you have highlighted that there is sort of integration between what we are doing in academia and governmental institutes. Do you think this integration can be set up in other topics, research topic like in chemistry, in biology, in
Yeah, I think so, especially in chemistry. If you have factories or companies dealing in, in production of any kind of chemicals, I don't see a big difference between mining sector and chemical sector.
mm,
For biology, I don't know, probably yes, but for instance, biotechnology or similar fields where we have both science and technology together, I think that it's that all kind of yeah, fields like that could do similar things like in mining sector.
okay,
Yeah.
this is great.
So yeah, you can expose students to both the industrial experience, but also to some kind of public sector experience.
Yep. I have something to discuss with you, maybe not direct related to this because you have reflect on this relation between business or mining sector and the academic sector. Uh, I would like you to reflect a bit about um, within the academic sector itself, within the top with different topic. Like, for example, I am aware that you are working now with a project between chemistry department and geology department. So, do you think this is a good idea to establish sort of courses, collaboration program between different institute, different faculties within the same university, or maybe between different universities?
Yeah, I think that this is really essential, especially, I mean, me as geochemist, of course, I see this kind of clear link between chemistry and geology, but also biology, it's important component. Here, uh, I mean, environmental issues are clear, and we have environmental issues that can be related with mining activity, but it can be related with any kind of activities that humans are doing. Also, there are sometimes issues just with natural contamination. So, for instance, if you have a large ultramafic body, that ultramafic body, it's a natural source of contamination once when it's exposed to weathering conditions. So, this integration of chemistry, biology, and geology, I think that is essential if you want to establish really a solid environmental related study program in Tromsø. And then,
Yep.
of course, on top of that, some other disciplines can come, like, for instance, development of new technologies or Department of Physics also with providing some analytical methods. So, for instance, also we are collaborating with Department of Physics. So far, we have together, we are co-sharing a Raman spectrometer
Mm-hmm.
because this is an instrument that has application in both fields, in physics and in geology, in fact, in chemistry as well. But so far, we kind of co-own the instrument together with Department of Physics. But also we are trying to start to work with colleagues from Department of Physics in development of microscopy facilities that they need for my fluid inclusion lab, because they have a really strong expertise in nanotechnology, nanomicroscopy, and some of their of things that they are doing could be kind of integrated in the microscopy lab that I need.
Yep. And also maybe I can just add a body point for that. You just said 5 minutes ago, maybe students when they start to be hired at governmental institute ask or try to find someone who has this legal background. So maybe as well adding other topics like using law in environmental issue, for example, or uh, maybe some skills in business sector. Maybe our students, I am aware that at Tromsø University, 2 years ago, there is a group, two master student or three master student, they was able to establish their company, something like this. So maybe our students can be a future businessman or businesswoman. So we need to give them a bit of skills.
Yes,
Yeah.
so to both of those things. So what you said about this legislation part, just yesterday we had our first meeting. I mean, we Matthias Forvik, our head of department, and we had the first meeting with the Norwegian Center for Law of Sea,
Mhm.
because as I said, we have this active project on recent hydrothermal activity along mid-ocean ridges, and probably you're aware that now Norwegian government is trying to develop new industrial opportunities for deep sea mining.
Mhm.
And this is completely new field everywhere in the world. So we need to know more about the systems as they are, and if mining happen, how that will affect the environment. Also, there is a strong need for some technologies that we still don't have, because mining at 3 kilometers water column, it's not same as mining on land.
Yes.
Also, I know that Norway has this long-lasting expertise in oil and gas sector, but to extract metals or minerals, it's not same as extract liquids. So there are many challenges there. But at the same time, we have a center. It's a research center it's a national research center based in Tromsø. They are dealing with law of sea. So we got in contact with them, and we started to discuss about if there are any opportunity to collaborate. Because
Okay.
basically, when they were presenting what they are doing, and when we are presenting what we are doing, we are using same keywords like
Mhm.
environment, hydrothermal activity, continental shelf, all these things. And then suddenly, when we start to talk about details, we are talking with completely two different languages, and we cannot really get the point on what they are doing, and they cannot really understand what we are doing.
Yes.
So I can imagine that for our students, it's even more challenging. So it would be great to have more multidisciplinary courses. We don't have any ambitions to teach legislation courses in geology. I mean, there is no sense to convert geologists to lawyers.
Mm.
But if we can provide our students with the suite of skills that they can understand when they are reading, laws, that they know how to do, how to use terminology, and that we at least start to speak with some common dialect, let's
Yep.
say.
Actually, again, I would like to steal from you some words. So I will steal just one word you said now. Maybe our audience misunderstand the context of all the workshop, that we would like to make a course that 50% geology, 50% law, or 50% environmental science, 50% other topic. But this is not what we aiming for. We are aiming for make a course mainly in geology, but maybe we can add just one layer at the top of the course that include other topic. So not 100% mixing between two topics or three topics, but fundamental things in addition to other skills that students need in their life.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, on top of this, of course, legislation, it's one of topic, but then really development of new business, as you said. So there are a lot of potential for junior geologists to establish their own companies, but honestly, I don't know how to do that, especially not in Norway. So again, we don't aim to educate students as that they become economists, but
Mm,
if they know some basic things, how to where to go if they want to establish their company, what they have to take care, what is the risk, how to do some kind of preliminary risk assessment, because probably it's not a big problem to establish a company, but yeah, how to start to work. So
mm.
all these things, yeah, it would be brilliant to have. I would like to take a course like that.
Yep, this is good. Maybe I reflect on that. Actually, parallel to our course or our workshop, we have another course related to Cloud Earth Eye project. This should start this week or next week, something like this. And this is sort of introduction course for exactly what you are saying. So in this course, it's oriented for students, master PhD students, and they will give or they will have some topics, just basic information about using big data, environmental science, how to establish your business, the challenge that you will face when you are establishing your business. Of course, this is again like very introduction course, but it will be attached with other courses that will give a bit deeper knowledge. So
Sounds brilliant.
we
Yes.
are we are trying to do something, and we'll see.
Yeah,
Yep.
that sounds great.
Yep. So I have three questions more related to this topic. One of them, the opportunities that you are seeing if we succeeded as academic sector to create such courses. This two type of courses that is between the different academic field, and this courses that is between academia and business and society
Hmm.
from other side. Do you think this is can be make a movement in our society?
I
Is it
think so.
positive movement or negative movement?
I think that it should trigger positive movements in the Norwegian society at least, because I mean Norway hosts really a lot of resources in terms of metals. But as you know, mining in this country it's quite behind what we see in Sweden or Finland. And one probably of the main reason it was that all resources, I mean geological resources, were moved to oil and gas sector. And now when oil and gas sector are not anymore so important, or even when they have very, very negative connotation in society, and if we really want to see green shift, it's obvious that we need metals to do
Mm,
that. And one of commodities that we know that we have in huge amounts in Norway, it's for instance copper, and copper is essential for green shift. Then this kind of courses that will really provide young people, new generation of geologists or new generation of professionals in general to start to work in mining sector in Norway, I think that it's really essential.
mm.
Because I mean, we should be really honest to say that at the moment we don't have enough educated people in Norway to really start mining sector almost from zero.
Yep. Actually, not in Norway. I think this is worldwide problem, at
Yeah.
least pan European problem.
Exactly.
Yep.
But then in Norway, it's really emphasized even more because, again, when we compare what is happening in Finland and Sweden, then Norway is definitely behind.
Okay. Okay. Yep. So I am very happy to hear that. I think the interviewer should not reflect on his opinion, but I am happy
Okay.
to,
Yeah.
to
Good.
understand. Yes. I would like to ask you more two questions. One of them related to uh, academics. So I meet some academics here and there in Austria, in England, and so on, and they show sort of some resistance to this movement. And sometimes they say, okay, but we have to teach only fundamental issues, fundamental topics. Um, do you think this is correct? Do you think what we should do in order to try to reach a point in between?
Yeah. So I think that definitely we should keep enough fundamental courses at our university. and we shouldn't give up on fundamental research at the university. This really is something that must be, otherwise we will just turn to some kind of level of college. But we should also give enough courses or enough opportunities to our students that they can select if they want to go more to industry. Because as I said at some point,
Mm,
we are aware that only small percentage of our students will end up in academia
mm,
or at PhD studies, but majority of students, they will be hired by industry. So we should kind of give opportunities for both and not make any differences saying this is better than another one, because it must be really like a cycle, or it's a one thing. So if we don't educate, I mean, this is at least my personal opinion,
mm.
so educating people just for academia without any application, I mean, I really don't see a point. Then what society will get out of that?
Yes, I agree.
So and then again, if we are going really too much in application without providing solid fundamental opportunities for students, then again we will lose our best students. So I mean, best students, usually very ambitious students, they want to continue with
Academia.
with academia,
Yep.
or at least they want to go to PhD levels or postdoc levels, and so on. So I think that it's important to have both type of courses, so that we keep our fundamental research and that we really keep publishing, that we show to our students that we are very productive in fundamental research. This is also important, again, if we are thinking about funding, that we can attract money not only from industry, but that we are attractive for a funding agency like Norwegian Research Council or European Research Council and so on. But at the same time that we are providing opportunity for students to develop some of those skills that are not offered in regular courses,
Yep.
like in, I don't know, geology, geochemistry, or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So I think again, maybe I can highlight this point from your word that we're not speaking here to replace the fundamental courses. For
Exactly.
example, if we say geology department at this university is offering 10 courses, fundamental courses, okay, maybe the department can offer 14 courses, 10 fundamental and 4 that include this mixing component between different topic or different subject. So
Yep.
this is not to replace the fundamental one, but this to add new courses to give students skills for their future.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And also maybe I can highlight for you and highlight for our audience, this is an interesting point for this workshop. So this workshop is will continue for almost a month. Today we are in the first day or second day according to the time of the presentation. And from tomorrow, the audience will be divided into small groups, multidisciplinary group, with one task. They try to come with a suggestion of a course that can be taught by this group. So maybe the group we can see someone from law school, someone from geology, someone from chemistry, and they can come with a course that connect these three subjects together. So hopefully at the last day of the workshop to see something from this monitoring period or this discussion. Something just to get reflection from you about it. Uh, do you think that, or from your experience, the business sector or the mining industry sector, they provide university with sort of scholarship, uh, mentoring program, hosting students for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just for training? If there is something existing like this?
Yes. So just this year, Department of Geoscience got a project which is supported through DICU, I think. Yeah, I think that it's from DICU. And basically that it's a pilot project where we are able to send our bachelor students to different industrial partners. I mean, at the
Okay.
moment, I think they're only industrial partners, but there is ambitions also to extend it to more this to public sector. So during this, it's the name of that project. It's Geo Intern,
Mm,
and it's led by Iver Martensen. I should, yeah, we should check. Yeah. So Iver is it's a leader of this project, and he has really he established really great network of industrial partners that are happy to receive our students. So during
mm,
this course, I'm not sure is it 5 or 10 credit course. Probably it's a 5 credit course. So our students are sent twice in semester to industrial partners where they are exposed to different activities. I mean, depending on where they are going.
mm,
So, for instance, for of our students, I know that he went to Skaland graphite mine, where he was logging cores. He was working with their geological team. So basically, he was doing exactly same things as he would do if he will be hired as a junior geologist in that company. So he started with some basic, very small task, and then he was provided with more complex during this period of time. In meanwhile, he was also preparing some reports and things like that. So we see this project as very, very important
mm.
and really good way to expose our students to yeah,
To the
industrial.
market.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is for bachelor students at the moment, but probably something similar can be created for master students as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, this is a good, I think in general, this is sort of good opportunity for our students if they are going for industry sector for a couple of weeks to train. This will give them skills, but also I think they give them connection.
Exactly.
So this most probably those students who are working with this mining company, after they finish their degree, some of them will work as a fast job, as permanent job with this company
Exactly. So
because they
it's a
have some connection somehow.
yeah, networking. It's really, really important.
Exactly. So we are not teaching just fundamental, but we try to open the door for them for their future.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Also, maybe I
yeah,
can
yeah,
just
please,
add,
please go ahead.
so this is something that it's not related with our university, but in Norway there is a program that is supported through a Norsk Bergindustri,
Mm,
where every year they're selecting 2 to 3 students, master students with, so finished master students, for internship program that lasts 2 to 3 years, where those students, or I mean, the fresh master of geology are sent to 2 to 3 mining companies.
okay,
And this year, we are very proud that 2 out of 3 students are Tromsø students. Uh, so one of them was working on another EIT raw material project, Minex Target. He got his master's degree through that project. Another student was working yeah, in structural geology, and then the third student, it's a student from Trondheim. She has a master in mineral processing.
okay,
Yeah. And they are
okay,
sent to Nussir, to Sibelco, and to Rana Gruber in Mo i Rana.
okay. So I can see there is a very good connection between academia in this context and business and mining sector.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think there is persons behind this. There is motivation behind this, and I think you are one of them, one of these persons who are try to motivate, who try to push this connection. So
Yeah.
we need someone to drive.
Yeah, but I must say that I have amazing support at our department. So
Yes, yes.
it's
So
always
it's
a
it's
team.
every yeah, it's a teamwork. I
Yes,
completely agree.
yes,
But
yes.
at least there is motivation. There is someone who try to push.
Yeah, but with a good support, it's easy to be motivated. So
Of course, I completely agree. Yes. So maybe the last point about the challenge, because now we, from your talk, you or from this interview, you have highlighted a lot of opportunities, and I have to say that before I start the interview, my view for the opportunity was like this, but after the interview, I think we have a lot,
okay, good.
yeah. So, but I think there's a lot of challenge, right?
Yeah, there are challenges, but I mean, there are challenges bring some other opportunities. So yes, there are challenges. Of course, I mean, one of challenges, again, when I'm comparing our connection with industry here in Northern Norway with what our colleagues in Northern Finland or our colleagues in Northern Sweden have through their connections with mining companies. In those countries, of course, the mining sector in Norway looks quite small.
Mm,
So this is one of things. But then again, we have some opportunities that they don't have. So for instance, we have this opportunity to work in places where recent mineral deposits are formed. So yeah, it's difficult. So yeah, it's difficult to say if they are in better situation than us. So yeah, there are some challenges and some opportunities. What else is challenge? Of course, nowadays we are seeing, but this is a challenge. It's a global challenge that we don't have. That we have this declining number of students going to natural sciences, including geology, and that especially in Norway, students see geology as equivalent for oil and gas sector. So this
mm,
is something that we should really at the national level highlight, that geology or geoscience, it's much more than oil and gas, that also include mineral resources, but even it's much broader than that, and that proper environmental study cannot be conducted without knowledge of geology, and geology it's everywhere around us. So yeah,
mm,
so this is one of challenges, and this is really very mm, big challenge, or at least it was that in last 2 years we had a very small number of new bachelor students. But again, it was not problem of Tromsø, it was really problem everywhere in Norway. But also what I have learned from my colleagues abroad when we were advertising EIT Raw Material University Days that we had last week here in Tromsø, then from several universities, basically I got a kind of big no from them. They said we
mm.
cannot advertise your event to
Why?
because we are fighting for every single student to stay at our university. So that gives me impression that no matter where we are in Europe, we all more or less face the same challenge, that there are not enough students willing to go to geology.
Mm,
And then again, if job market in mineral sector would be more open, I mean bigger, then of course young people will see their opportunities, and then they will naturally go to that kind of study program. So it's a cycle. So yeah.
yep, yep. But do you see there is some challenge to create within academia such cross-disciplinary courses, uh, or these courses from academia to business? So just
Mm.
the creating the courses itself.
Yeah, that again depends on the network. So when I came to Tromsø, I was really lucky that at that moment we had something that, so it was a project funded through Interreg, EU project that was supporting something that we called Nordic Mining School. And Nordic Mining School was um, a group of 3 universities with an aim to exchange teachers and students. And those 3 universities were University of Tromsø, University of Technology in Luleå, and Oulu University in Finland. And through that project, I met people from those another 2 universities, and they were very open for interdisciplinary research. So
Mm,
we aimed several times to get funding. Unfortunately, we never succeed, but we really managed to make a very strong network where we are still collaborating, we are exchanging students, though we don't have any formal project, and also we are exchanging teachers. So it's really kind of on the level, I mean, especially nowadays with online teaching, even we don't need financial resources to do things
mm,
like that. So in meanwhile, we extended that network, and at the moment, I would say that we collaborate really well with people from University of Luleå, University of Technology in Luleå, in terms of both like a hard rock geology, structural geology, geochemistry, but also environmental geochemistry. Then with people from all, we have collaboration. They have very strong expertise in mineral processing. So this is something that, for instance, we don't have in Tromsø, but it's again good to provide to our students that they understand how their material, if they are, for instance, in a mine, what will happen with material that will be exploited from that mine. And then with people from University of Lapland, they have a program. So it's completely another discipline. So they are not even in natural science. So they are in social science, and they are dealing with social aspects of mining,
Okay.
including, for instance, how to get social license to operate in the Arctic area, which is very sensitive topic. And then on top of that, we extended also collaboration with colleagues from Iceland. So basically in that, let's say, cluster, we have now 5 universities from 4 Nordic countries.
Okay. Working together, even
Working
with
together,
social science and geology and
yeah.
yep. Yep.
And yeah, environmental aspects. And so basically we are aiming to cover the whole value chain in mining sector with focus to Arctic.
Okay.
And
From beginning to the end.
exactly,
Yep.
yeah. So basically from opening of the area for prospection up to closure of the mine.
Okay. Yep.
And then, yeah, from time to time, when we see that there is some opportunity to get funding, then we are writing some applications. So far we have applied with 2 different type of applications. One was for Nordforsk for master program. We haven't got it. And then another one was ITN for PhD. At the PhD level, again, we haven't got it, but yeah, we learned a lot and we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
This is our life, apply and
Yes,
rejection.
yes.
Yes. Now, I think I covered all the point um, from my side. I don't know if you have something to add, but
No,
it's, yeah, please.
yeah, so I really liked the interview and yeah, I enjoyed and
Thanks, Sabina. And
I
I really appreciate your time. I know that you are traveling today to Bergen to start a new project
yeah,
with
well, we will
industry
see.
somehow.
Yeah, yeah, we will see. So it's a industry, it's a conference supported mostly from industry on deep sea mining.
Okay.
So yeah, we will participate in conference and see
Yeah.
if there are any opportunities. Yes,
Opportunities there.
yeah,
Wish you good luck
yeah.
with some good fund with some good connection. And again, I would like to thank you very much for your time and wish you a safe trip to
Thank you.
Bergen and back to Tromsø after finishing the conference.
Yeah,
No,
thank you.
thanks, Sabina.
Yeah.
Yep. So we came back. I hope that you followed the interview and the sound was okay. Maybe I can summarize it a bit because you can see it's focused mainly about geology, but if I try to elaborate a bit about it, she highlighted few things that the importance of cross-disciplinary courses. It's very, very important, she said. And also she gave an example, a real example here at Tromsø University that she involved in several research project with the business sector. And within this research project, she involved master students, PhD students, and bachelor students. And through this project, this research project, she tried to teach the students few things, few skills, and few soft skills, and other things. So it's a different type of multidisciplinary courses. It's not a real course, but it's sort of like a program with between academia and business sector. And through this program, the students try to get more skills, more soft skills. But she also highlighted about we need to establish this multidisciplinary courses. And even she said that there is some challenge, but she tried to solve this because, you know, if you would like to create a new course that include, for example, mathematics and business, maybe you are as a mathematician, you don't have the skills in the business, so you can't lead the course in this part. But she highlighted that we need sort of connection between us. So maybe here at Tromso, I would like to establish a new course, and then I don't find a business researcher here to give the business component, but I can rely on someone in Edinburgh University, or someone from Austria, or someone from other universities. So she also highlighted these things, like the connection between the academic at the same university and maybe different university. So this is like a very short summary about this 15-minute or 50-minute interview. So do you have any comments? If we can discuss something.
Actually, we're just wondering what happened when you have a hybrid program. You see,
What you mean?
So for instance, in the School of Mathematics, we have something called Mathematics and Business as a whole program.
Yes.
But the students then take classes in the School of Mathematics, and then they take classes in the business school.
As different classes, as different courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can consider all the program in this case like a multidisciplinary program, which includes
As a multidisciplinary course, but not necessarily. We don't necessarily have a multidisciplinary course.
Yes, in this context, yes. But we are aimed to build a real course, one course that include different components. Yeah. Here I think we have one program or one course. It's called Ocean Leadership at Tromsø University. And in this program, actually, it's not for the students, it's for the business people. So we invite leaders of the business to come to this program, and by the end of the program, they got like a master degree. And they teach things related to Green Deal, teach things related to business, environmental issue, things like this. So it's again like it's not a program, it's a course, but it will lead to a master degree. And not for the students, for the business people. But she also highlighted this challenge about the mindset of the academics themselves, because academics, some academics, they are a bit resistant to this change. They believe that we would like just to be stick to what we are doing for hundreds of years, and we or some of us didn't consider that change in our society. So now, for example, the students in the Facebook or social media or YouTube, they can get a lot of information, which can be wrong information or correct information. So we as academic, we need to play a role here. We try to give them the correct information with a better way somehow. And I think the main message that we can get from this interview, that we can think about two different things. We can think about a course, multidisciplinary course, or we can think about multidisciplinary program, like you mix between teaching component, research component, where both academia and business play a role together. So what she highlighted in her teaching activity, it's sort of program. She tried to get in contact with the business, establish a research program, and within this research program or within this research project, she start to teach the student. So this can be an idea of sort of multidisciplinary courses or multidisciplinary teaching activity. So you can consider this. So when you from tomorrow, when you start to write or think about this project that you will present sometime in September, it's not necessarily just a multidisciplinary course. It can be an idea of a program. Like, okay, I can't establish a course, but I can think about a program, like a research program, where the student can play the role, can contribute to the program and get some soft skills. This is also can be a way to have or give our students some skills. I don't know, Debbie, you are agree, disagree, or?
No, I was actually going to ask, really for your experience. I mean, it is relevant to ask this probably just now. So you designed a course for Cloudify, and there's lots of different stakeholders in there. There's lots of different people contributing. So, you know, there's kind of active stakeholder management, there's IP issues, there's the collaboration. I mean, how, because in a perfect world, I think I would design a course where I would get the real experts from each area, bring them in with their own materials, because they've probably already got materials already developed. And then we would kind of blend those together and we think about the learning journey, etc., etc. But I mean, realistically, that I can just see there being so much red tape, so much bureaucracy, just you know, and you touched on a couple of things yesterday about, I think, sort of, you know, where do the credits come from, who ratifies the qualification, all these kind of things. So really sort of, you know, what was your experience when you were putting that course together?
Yeah, I think thank you very much for this question. I think this is an important question for designing multidisciplinary courses between different universities. So actually, our course for the students, not for the academic, for the students, is taught by professors from the 5 universities, from Tromsø, from Edinburgh, from Alicante University, Bergenland, and Varna University. And what we did, we consider the last year like a pilot phase. Like, we try to develop the course, we try to review the course. The course includes 5 or 6 modules and module, and each module our module, for example, is reviewed by other professor in another university. And now we are in a stage to sign a sort of consortium agreement in order to, as you said, because the PI and other things related to the course and the materials that produce. So we are in this stage. So I think if you would like to establish something strong, you need to first to find the right person or the colleagues who need to contribute. Maybe you can start with a pilot phase, like 1 semester pilot phase, to see if the material that you are producing is good enough. Maybe you send this material to someone external to review it, to see is it enough, we need to change here or there, and so on. And once you feel that everything is ready, I think you need to sign an agreement, just this agreement to make everyone within the context, to be sure that this course will be taught for the next couple of years or 5-6 years. But of course, we have still a challenge with the credit, because the credit is a bit a challenge. So here, for example, at Tromsø University, even we are the leader partner for this project, so far we can't give credit for our students. What we are doing, we try just to go around. There is something called special courses. These special courses, you as academic, you have the freedom to put whatever you want. So what I did, I just create a special course, and all the students who are enrolled in this Cloud Earth course, they also enroll in this special course, and they get the credit from this one. I think for Bergenland, and Bergenland in Austria, our leader are understand the concept of this multiple courses, and they decided to any student who enrolled in our course, they will get the 10 credit from them. And now we are with Edinburgh University within this process somehow. So we try to push somehow to give the Edinburgh students the credit from that. But the point, you know, it's a bit administration thing. It's I think this is one of the major challenges that we need to think about how we can fix this, because you know we have international students, we have students from other university outside the consortium, and it's not fair that a student attends the same course, gets the same knowledge, but he or she will not get any credit. It's just the certificate. So it's not fair for them, but we need to find a way. And I think this is one of the challenges that we need to think about how we can fix this. I heard there is something called microcredit. I don't know what's microcredit. I don't know if any of you heard something like this. I heard something called microcredit, but I don't know what's this. But I assume it's maybe like you have a course like 10 credit, and then 10 credit you can go to Edinburgh and get 1 or 2, and then you go to Tromso for like online workshop or online course, and you get 2 more, and so on, and by the end you get the 10. This is what I saw about this microcredit, but I think this is one of the challenges that we need to find a way and go around. Yeah. Or make our leader aware that there is something like this that we need to fix somehow. Yep. So if you don't have any comment, maybe we can have a break, or we can go for the next interview, as you like. Who will vote for break? Who will vote for
next interview?
Next interview? Okay. Okay. Yep. The next interview, maybe we can connect it with the previous one. This is a master student, so now we will get like the point of view of the students themselves about this multidisciplinary courses and how the students see the importance of it. But also this student was working with Sabina, this professor that I have interviewed the previous interview, and they was working together in a program which is unfortunately didn't see the, or they didn't succeed to make it. So maybe I can reflect on this program, but after the interview. Again, try to. So, yep, here, this is the one.
I would like to thank all of our audience for coming to this this session and this interview. So far, we try to get sort of overview from different stakeholder, and now we have Cool Funk. Cool is master students. So we will try to see the view of students, how they are thinking about this multidisciplinary approach or courses that we try to achieve during this workshop. Cool actually is a scientist, so he studied chemistry at University of Tromso. But maybe you can introduce yourself by a better way, what you are doing and from where. I think you are not from Norway, right?
No, I'm from the United States. Like he said, I'm doing a master's in chemistry. I'm currently working on my master's project, so I'm in the lab a lot. I'm working on palladium coupling chemistry.
Okay, what is this?
It's coupling two organic molecules together using palladium as the catalyst.
Okay. Okay, and the target is not only to couple two molecule, for example, but you aim to produce something different.
Yeah, basically. So when you're coupling two molecules, the molecules attach to the catalyst, in this case palladium, as ligands, and then they react to each other from proximity and make one new molecule where the two molecules are attached at specific places.
Okay, yeah, and of course this new molecule can be used for
Yeah.
some application like medicine or things
Yeah.
like this. Yep. Cool. So you said that you are from the state. So the question is how you are ended here at Tromsø, across the ocean.
So in the United States, school is kind of expensive. So my main reason for coming over here is to save money. If I wanted to go to school for my master's in the US, I would probably have to work for another 2 years to afford it.
Mm,
In addition to the 2 years I already worked to pay off my student loans for my bachelor's.
okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So you got your bachelor from US or from here?
From the US.
Okay. Okay. So you there, of course, it's everything is expensive. So this means that 2 year and 2 year, 4 year more, just to cover your master and bachelor work.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a long work, hard work. Yeah.
Mm.
But why chemistry?
Why chemistry?
Yeah.
I did my bachelor's in biochemistry and biophysics, which is mostly like protein sciences, if you look at it. But I really loved organic chemistry when I was there. So after my bachelor's, I decided when I was going to go to graduate school, I wanted to be more focused on organic chemistry.
Okay. Okay. This is good because I also love organic chemistry.
Mhm.
But I have to say that I like inorganic chemistry much better. Because in organic chemistry you have this long formula. It's always difficult to understand what is going on with such long formula. But for inorganic, it's okay, manageable somehow.
Mm.
But this is good actually. I can see this is good. I think I am lucky person because I don't know that you was studying biochemistry and physical chemistry, you said?
Biochem and biophysics.
Okay, so actually you are studying chemistry, biology, and physics somehow.
Yeah, in a way.
In a way, yep. So what you are planning after your master?
Well, I had to save up to come here. So right after my master's, I have to work for at least a year or so just to get the funds back up. But I will be trying to get into the chemical industry.
Okay.
Probably synthesis and production. And after that, not so sure yet.
Okay, so you thinking to go for chemical industry here in Norway or somewhere else, US or?
Probably in the US, because here I would have to get a job before my residence permit expires in order to stay for that job, which only gives me like a month or so to get that job.
Okay, yeah, I can see the point because you have to apply for a visa or so to stay for. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, I am aware that you are managing a joint program between geology and chemistry departments. This is also interesting for us to talk about because this is two different topics somehow. Of course, there is interaction between them because both of them are I call them normally hardcore science because geology is fundamental science, chemistry is fundamental science, so both of them is hardcore science, but it's a bit far away. So how you came with this idea about this creating this joint program between these two departments?
Well, I am also a student assistant here at UIT, which means that I aim to plan events for the students, academic events mainly. And I felt in my bachelor's that one, the most interesting courses were the interdisciplinary ones, and two, they're the most useful ones. Normally, if someone goes into school for straight math or straight physics, they don't usually stay right on that course unless they're staying in academia.
Mm.
So I was talking with a few of the other student assistants, and some of them are in the geology realm, and I've taken a few geology classes previously. So I thought we could do a chemistry, geology series of events.
Okay. Okay. And you plan this for this semester and next semester as well, or it will be long term event?
Well, I'm not the only one involved. I'm trying to get it started for this semester, but if it goes well, it will continue to next semester. And me and the other person in the geology section of the school have talked about planning even events for the summer, because that's the best time to go out and do trips for
Mhm.
geology research.
Okay. Have chemistry students to geology fields also?
Yeah, and geology students as well,
Yep. Of course. Yeah.
pulling both into both majors.
Okay. But this motivation is coming from you or from uh, your superior, like professor who are teaching you at chemistry, or just by the discussion with other?
Um, as the student assistants, we're kind of given free rein in the types of events we can plan, as long as they're academic. So this was my idea, and I tried to rope some people into it, and I'm just trying to get it going. You know?
Okay. Yeah. And the main motivation behind this, like just to give some skills for students from
Uh,
chemistry to geology and geology from chemistry and things like this?
yeah, to give some awareness of the other subjects, as well as some skills like you're saying, so that when the students get out of their major, they can go into fields that are related to both more prepared.
Yeah. I maybe can highlight a point that you said. You said that students who are doing pure science, pure mathematics, or pure chemistry, at some stage they are lose the orientation or maybe lose interest. So I'm correct, or?
um, I think it's different for every person, but I had several people that were in the same major as me in my bachelor's, which is biochemistry and biophysics. And there were definitely people that aimed more towards the biology sections, more towards the physics sections. I even know one that switched completely over to programming for bioinformatics, you
Mm,
know. Um, so I think it really depends on the person, but if there are more, say, interdisciplinary courses or career opportunities for that are presented to the students, I
mm,
think they might stay a little bit more in between.
mm. Actually, I like this term, career opportunity, because my point of view is that university is not a school. University is an organization that prepares students for society. So we are doing another job than school. We not only give them science, but we prepare them for finding the best job for them. And to do so, I think you need to give them different skills. Yeah. But for this program that you are try to running now, I hope that it will start as well in November, I think.
That's what we're shooting for.
Okay, yeah. A middle or 1st of November, or still not planned in
Um,
detail.
I'm hoping to get it going by like the second week of November, but I'm not absolutely sure since we're still lining up the schedules.
Okay. Actually, I have a question related to this schedule thing because now we try to make this interview almost 20 of October, and you say that we run or you will run this program second week of November. So we have sort of 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. Do you think this time is enough to get students in?
Yeah, with the use of social media now, it's easy to get the word out that something
Okay.
is happening.
Okay.
And I find that most people don't plan things more than like a week ahead of time. So if you let them know 2 weeks ahead of time, then you won't get too much of the problem where people aren't coming because they already had something planned.
Okay. Super. This is actually good motivation for me because we running a similar program, not similar, but somehow similar, also in November. And I thought, okay, we have only 2 weeks, 3 weeks of time to get students. So this is a positive point of view from you. So a good motivation, at least for me, to push in.
Mm.
Will you consider as well in this program other topics like biology, like other students from other departments? You have highlighted some point like biophysics, biochemistry, bioinformatics. So do you think this also can be like join this program, or you can create another program for them?
In this program, like I said, the point is to bring different majors into each other to give the students more exposure and more skills. So, for example, if a biology student wants to come, great,
Okay.
they can come.
Okay.
As far as events being planned for even more majors, if the topic at hand is viable for that, I don't see why not.
Okay.
But the if you're going to have a specific topic for an event, you can only include so many majors usually. For example, if you're talking about electrochemical processes in the mining industry, it's kind of hard to bring biology into that,
Yes.
except for maybe a side point,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I completely agree with you. But this is good that you are open for other students than geology and chemistry. This means that I am recording this video from Arctic Marine Biology Department, so I think we can distribute the words around us, see students, see interesting of them, and maybe students can bring some ideas for us, like, okay, why not? We can prepare a similar lecture between biology and chemistry, geology, faculty of IT, mathematics, things like this. So this is good. So I have question related to your experience with similar programs. So you studied at US and you studied here your master.
Yeah, I did the courses for my master here.
Yeah. So the question, if there is similar ideas somewhere, like bring two topics in a same context, in the same lecture, in the same program.
As far as courses go, I've only seen it when that's like an already very specialized field. So, for example, I've seen biochemistry courses, which are basically almost all about biochemical processes in the human body or something like that, which goes into organic chemistry and biology. But I haven't seen anything like biogeology or chemistry geology courses, which I think the industries would be benefited by schools having those types of courses. And as far as events go, I haven't seen any interdisciplinary events at my bachelor's or here being offered.
Okay. So here or in US as well, the same missing or the same gap.
Mhm.
Okay, this is good. This is good that we have opportunity to do something. So of course it's not good because I think there is a gap here we need to cover. Yeah. But from your point of view, now we are speaking about this program that you are trying to manage or try to do between chemistry and geology. And you say that we can extend it to some extent to include biology, include mathematics, include physics or so. Do you think there is a possibility to include topics like business, like management, administration to it?
It depends on the topic, but I think there's definitely a possibility. So, for example, if we go back to electrochemical processes, you could even go into different solvents or something that could be used to reduce the energy needed to do the electrochemical process. And then you could bring in your business people because they could find the optimal financial way to do it, as well as if you are introducing specific topics for a specific industry, you can have professionals in that industry come in as the speakers to give a viewpoint of what the industry is like for the students so that they have more exposure to it, as well as maybe even know of a new job that they didn't know about previously.
Okay. So you think there is a possibility to do so?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep. But what's the opportunity that we will get from this in general?
In general, well,
Yeah.
I think we'll have more specialized people if we bring people from chemistry or geology over to the other side, because not everyone knows everything, right? But if you have somebody in geology coming into, say, my lab, working with palladium chemistry, they may know more about how palladium interacts with other things, especially in solid forms, than I would. And whatever knowledge they have may help my research progress even faster. And chemistry going into geology, same.
Okay. So you will bring two fields in the same lab somehow, and each one will contribute with ideas and knowledge.
Yeah, basically. And the total outcome would be more efficient progress to the goals of either the business or the university for research or whatever, really.
Yeah, but how this can affect business sector or affect society in general? Do you think students who have one degree from just geology will be for him good enough to go to the work, or maybe he needs some more knowledge?
Well, I don't know about good enough, but I believe that a geology student that also has a good background in chemistry would be better prepared for industry. And like I said, make more efficient progress within that industry.
Yep. So this means that you try to give them more opportunity, more skills in order to try to open doors for other opportunities, try to explore job market in a better way.
Yeah.
Somehow. Okay. And what do you think about the challenging for this process? Like now actually you are working with this program, you try to create this program. So what's the challenge that you have so far?
Well, the first and foremost challenge that we're having now is scheduling, because it seems that students of different majors. Their schedules don't line up so well.
Mm.
So there's that. And then with academic events, it's always hard to get a lot of people to come because typically if they're not going to be in school, they don't want to be in school.
Mm. Mm.
So there's that as well. And then finding good topics that would be interesting for both sides or all the sides of science that are coming. There's that. I think there may be a limited amount of topics currently that we could possibly go over. Yeah.
Did you find someone to teach?
We haven't decided on the topic yet because we haven't decided on when
Okay.
yet.
Okay. So the process is that you will try to figure out the time slot, then you will figure out who will teach or the topics that you will teach.
Yeah, most likely we'll find a good time slot and then we'll email some people, and based on who's available, we can choose the best topic for that time. Yeah, because if we want to do a certain topic, but whoever would be best to have it isn't available, that doesn't help us so much. So it's more dependent on who will be available than what topic would be best to cover now.
Okay. Yep. But do you think it's better to organize a course, not just a lecture or not just an event, a course that will extend for one semester that include 50% topic and 50% another topic, like 50% pure geology, 50% pure chemistry? Do you think this can help?
Yeah, I think that would definitely be more helpful than just an event. But as far as getting it started, right now we barely have anything, and doing a whole extra course and finding out where it would fit in what majors and paying someone to organize the course and teach the course is definitely a lot more expensive than just setting up an event.
Yeah.
So I think if we gain a lot of traction with interdisciplinary events, maybe it'll convince UIT as well as other schools to make courses like that. But I don't think that they would do that as a first step.
Okay. So this will actually bring me to a question. Did you get support from the administration or from professors or from the institute itself? Like someone who say, yeah, perfect, this is a good idea. You have to go for it, or things like this?
Other than the people that I contacted to try to help me with this, no, not so much, but also that's because I'm given kind of free reign to make events. So I didn't really need someone up above me telling me to go ahead for it because I'm already allowed to do so.
Okay. So did you bring this idea to the leader of institutes or not?
Yeah, I emailed the head of the geology department, and they said the best person to talk to would be this person. So I emailed that person, and that's currently the person who I am working with, which I think you are familiar with.
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't gotten anyone on the chemistry side as of yet, but I'm trying to fill in that spot.
So you're using the same approach. So you are also sending sort of an email to the head of the department, and you say, yeah, we are trying to do so, and we're looking for this person or a person to take care of our part, or you are searching by yourself?
So what I would do is look through the faculty of UIT and then see who would be best. Usually I go for the head of the department first because they would know who would be best for that better than I would just from reading the profiles on UIT. And then if they tell me someone better, or if they don't tell me someone better, I will try to find a specific person within the department and email them and see if they're interested.
Okay. But in general, from your experience from geology department, you happy from the interaction in general, like they reply you and then they orient you to the right person, and from this point you start to discuss and go. So
Yes.
there is sort of support,
There's a sort of what?
sort of support.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not financial, or there is some financial support as well.
Yeah, I have some financial support as a student assistant. I can request funds, but considering we're just doing events, it wouldn't be too expensive anyway. It would be food and booking times, and if we did a trip, setting up like a bus or something, you know.
Okay, so some simple things.
Yeah.
Somehow, yep. No, I am very happy to hear something like this, because I think this is the same point of view of a business sector, same point of view of academic. Today morning, I had an interview with Professor Sabina, and she reflected on the importance of this multidisciplinary courses for the business interviews. So they also reflected these things. But I am very happy to hear that also from point of view of students and junior researcher, that they see the point of doing this joint program, this program that can bring up new skills to students. So this is very great. I think I have finished most of the point here, but I don't know if you can add something about this topic. Or so, for example, if I would like to create a course, not just an event, and this course is actually will present two different topics, like business administration and chemistry, for example. What's the start point I should do?
Well, I think the most simple starting points are where they actually come together within industry or research. So, for example, if we're talking about the mining industry, there are many places that we can talk about geology and chemistry, especially within the extraction of whatever metal or mineral you're trying to extract. Almost every single step along the way will have chemical processes you can talk about. And then if the student knows about these chemical processes, they can be applied to them more efficiently once they do get into industry.
Yeah.
So I would start there at where they naturally hit each other within industry or research, because it's already known that they hit there.
Yeah, that's correct. But actually, this is just one question jump in my head, because we was speaking all the discussion about chemistry, geology, and we try to give some skills to students for these 2-3 subjects about each other, or add a layer at the top of their knowledge related to administration and business. But if we go to the other topics, so if we go to school of business, for example, or students who are studying pure law or topics related to something not to science, do you think it's good as well to bring some science to their topics?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not exactly sure how it would be too related to a specific course, but if they had a course on, say, bioethics or something, that would be really helpful for, say, lawmakers or people who are going to be creating the regulations within chemical businesses or something like that. I think that is a very important topic. I actually have an example of why that is important
No,
that I
please.
think is kind of funny. So here at research labs, of course, you have to sort your chemicals into different types of waste so that they can be efficiently and cleanly processed by waste companies. But some of the groupings are a little bit weird. You would think that, for example, something that is flammable shouldn't be with something that's explosive. You don't want to mix those. But with the groups of waste that we have now, sometimes you run into this issue.
Yes, yes.
And I think that's a direct consequence of the people making the laws not really understanding the chemistry.
Exactly. Actually, this is bringing me to a very nice story. I have a friend, a close friend, he's working with Remix, and he highlight me the same point. He says that people at some people, they not aware about the chemical, different chemical and how they are interact with each other. And he tried to reach to them and say, okay, it's not possible to put this chemical beside this one, because if each other touch each other, it would be a problem. And of course, they didn't believe him for some reason. So yeah. So it's this is very good example actually you are highlighted here. Maybe these people are a skilled person to do some administration issue, some regulation, but when it comes to chemical material, when it comes to biological process, we need to give them not deep knowledge, but at least to inform them, okay, chemical material can interact with each other with different behavior. So we need to take care of that. Yeah. And also this brings me to this point about research data. Here at in Europe in general, we have this policy about open science and open research data and these things. And there is a lot of regulation will coming soon about this point. How you publish your data, how you make it available, how these things. But who is putting this regulation is people who study law. Nothing related to data or research or right. So they need to know a bit about what the data is, what the research data is, right? Yeah. So I think the point that we have highlighted today during this discussion, not only to give some skills for people who are studying science, pure science, chemistry, geology, biology, and so on, but also people who are studying business, who are studying law, who are studying administration. Maybe they need a bit of some information about pure science. So you agree with me? Yeah, super. This is good. Yeah, great. So I think maybe this is time to have a break for our audience. And I would like to thank you very much. And I am very, very interested to be updated about this geology chemistry program. So I hope that we can share knowledge later about this. Maybe our audience for this workshop, maybe they are interesting just to come and see, because this is an experiment. You are running an experiment that bring two subjects together, not in a course, but in event. And then they can see the feedback for students. Like they can come, they can see, okay, maybe student will be happy, maybe not, just to measure the outcome of this events. And then they can decide after that, okay, maybe this is a nice experiment. We can go more in deep and we can create courses that include more topic together. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Cole, and see you around.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Yep. So this is the point of view of students, and he reflects few things. Unfortunately, the program that we was speaking about, which is this program between chemistry and geology department, because they didn't find the right people to teach, they didn't find the timetable for it. So I don't think that they succeeded to create this multidisciplinary program. So this was a challenge for them, and this challenge was strong enough that they couldn't produce this program. But he highlights few things like the importance. He, as a student, see an importance for that to design multidisciplinary courses, not only for the pure science like chemistry and giving people who are studying chemistry or geology or IT some basic knowledge in law or in business sector or business, but also he said that maybe the students who are studying business or law or environment can get like some basic knowledge about other topics like geology or chemistry or things like this. Uh, I think he highlight two challenge within the context of the interview. And this is why they couldn't produce this program. They couldn't put this program in action. Which first one is people who will teach. And as we heard from Sabina, she tried to say that it's basic sort of connection between us as academics. So me here at Tromso, I have good connection to people in Edinburgh, so I can invite someone from Edinburgh to teach something in my course and so on. But who will pay for this person? So and actually, this is one of the challenge here for the Cloud Earth Eye. We ask colleagues from different university, from Edinburgh, from Alicante as well. We have this problem in Alicante in Spain. And the question is, who will pay for us? Who will pay for our teaching? Or we don't have enough time to do so. So in order to establish or to build this cross-disciplinary courses, we need to find a way who will pay if this academic person who will come from another institute or from another university can do it for free, for example, or we can find a way for payment, or he can or she can, for example, teach this course for us for free, and then we will teach this course for their student for free, sort of win-win situation, things like this. So this is also a challenge that we have. So we have credit, the problem with the credit, who will give the credit and who the student will get the credit. And second, who will pay if we will consider the payment issue. And of course, the connection. So in order to establish such multidisciplinary courses, we need to find the right person who will cover the second topic or the other topic. This is the three main challenge that I can see now. I don't know if you have more. Of course, as DB highlighted at before we start this interview, is a BI and who has the right of the result. It's something can be added to challenge. So, and I think this BI thing, it can be solved by like sort of agreement, a written agreement between the professors who are teaching this course or who are running this program. If there is an agreement that this is your right, this is my right, I think this can solve future problem. But this is, I think this is a 4-minute challenge from my point of view. I don't know if you agree, disagree, or you can add more.
Oh yeah, I'm very curious how these things works, because I also teach probability and statistics, and sometimes people from another programs reach me out and tell me that if they can include this in their programs. from different schools. I mean, I don't mind, but I ask, and then every single time I ask is like, what do they offer? And or
For
they
you.
will, yeah,
Yeah.
or for the school in general, or
Yeah.
they will say like, if you don't mind, yes, you can have it. So I don't know what is the, you know, the range of numbers. So I always say like, yeah, I can have a maximum of 7 students, for instance. So I wouldn't mind to have 20 more students in general outside my program. But I don't really know. There is like a very specific regulation about that, you know, like more about the negotiation. Yeah, so I have this course, and then I teach in, so the specific course is in 4 different programs now.
Okay. Okay.
But then,
but you said now about the number. This number is linked to your working hour and your salary,
yes,
correct?
yes.
So it's again, it's financial issue by the end. Like, you know, you have like a capacity for 25 students, and from your program you have 20, so you have capacity for 5 students more from other program.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because so the question is like, do you mind, right? So at the end I will have to mark these final projects, answer more questions from the students and so on, because this one is online.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe because I'm new in the school and I don't really mind. But then there should be a time where I should say, yeah, I don't mind, and then I just stop accepting people from different courses.
Yes.
But then who should be the one who say, you know, I don't feel honestly comfortable telling, no, you know what, I include me more hours in my workload because I just accepted 20 more students.
Yes, there is actually another way to solve this problem, but again, it's financial issue. I think if this course is very successful course, you can have an assistance for you, but this assistance need to have money, to have salary. So you need to find a financial support for the assistance.
That you mentioned, I think there is something that is like, if you have above certain students, you can request
support from university,
support.
I think.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And also you highlight yesterday one of the challenges that we can add for this 4 main challenge, which is the level of the knowledge of the students, the coming students. If all the students have the same level of knowledge in these 3 or 4 topics that your course is cover or not. So if you have, like, for example, someone who has no background at all in mathematics, you need to give to this student more knowledge than other before you start the course. So this is, I think, this is another challenge, that the target group for these courses, these multidisciplinary courses, is like, should we target one group, for example, one group of students who are come from the same background, or we can target different groups from different background, and then we can add like 2-3 lecture at the beginning of the course to give them the basic information from the different topics, and then from this basic level you start the course itself, or how we can deal with that. So this is another challenge, or the 5th challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And actually, that's why it's important, the part of the description of the course, right? Because in that sense,
the previous knowledge for the students.
Yeah, you definitely like a pre-request.
Yeah. Did you have a comment or question?
Yeah, sure. So it's almost a compelling argument here for a flipped classroom, where you could provide some materials beforehand and really with an idea to getting everybody up to the same level. So some students may look at it and go, yep, a quick 5-minute refresher. Whereas others, if it is new material, they might want to spend a little bit of time, but it just means you've got a level sort of playing field for everybody once you actually start the in-person sessions.
Yeah, so you can solve this problem with the flipped classroom, like giving the student basic knowledge somehow, and then if you are missing this knowledge, you can just go and teach yourself before you start the course.
I mean, there's pros and cons to that. You don't want to frighten people before they arrive.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a possibility. It's one idea.
Yeah, it can be just for the first 2 lecture, like, you know, heating up before you start the course itself.
Yeah, actually, we have something like that in the in a master. So I'm the one who do the refreshers, so the students can watch the videos, do the exercises, and then we gave them the kind of like the score, and then at the end we will invite those who have lower score to go to these sessions where we specifically talk and go through exercises from each specific topic. And what I have heard about in the master level, for instance, is that they knew that they just have forgot about, you know, like these things because they haven't studied that since like 4 or 5 years ago or 3. And then they catch up really quickly, which is good because at the end they spend 2 weeks, but then these 2 weeks made them more comfortable with what is going to be applied ahead.
Can I just ask, how do you score them? Is it sort of just like a test, online test?
Yeah. We do like exercises in a stack so it's online, and then it was automatically just marked, and then we have the ranks, and then we just send it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, this is great. So I think now we are aware of the opportunities, and also one of the points that he highlights, could highlight in his talk or his interview, that he coming from US and now he's studying here at Norway, which is European system, but he said that this multidisciplinary courses is not existing there in US and here. So I think we have good opportunity to establish something new. There is a need from society to create this courses. Of course, there is, as you said, there is a lot of challenge, but our society need it. So we need to produce students with good skills, because the challenge for our society, you know, this climate change, the lack of inclusivity around Europe, for example, what happened now in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia, and everything around us is a lot of put us in a very bad situation, and we need to act. And in order to act, we need to produce a good students who can help to somehow understand this challenge and somehow find a way to overcome this challenge. Yep. So I don't know. I think we have so far, I didn't share with you, I think, this website yesterday. I forgot to share it with you, right? But I will share it once we finish today. I will share this website. I think there is still there is something like 10 interviews. We just covered like 4 of them or so. We need to cover maybe one more or so, one interview more, which will take something like around an hour, with the discussion that follows this interview. And then we will start to discuss the project that you will do. So this is the 3 parts of the course. So the importance of the multidisciplinary courses, the challenge, the opportunities, and then we try to discuss, or you will go to prepare this project. This project, as I said, it can be an idea of a course, it can be an idea of a program, like a research program with the business sector, where your student can be involved somehow. And we can discuss this at the later today, and then you will have like a month or so to work on this project. Yeah. So would you like to have a lunch break now, or break before we have the last interview and this final discussion? Yes. Okay. So a long interview, or sorry, long break or short break? Short one. DB, short one?
I just need to make a couple of calls, so maybe 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So we can meet here at 20 past 1,
Okay.
20 past 12 at your time.
Okay.
Yep. So see you around. Bye-bye. Hello.
Hi.
So I think people still in the break try to.
Yeah.
Yep. We can wait for a minute or two more. So you are traveling regularly to visit your family?
So I used to go every year, but now this with the pandemic situation, last time I was there was this March, but then before that, it just passed 2 years.
Okay.
So it was kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had my first baby in the pandemic. So they couldn't meet him until last March.
Yeah, you traveled, but yeah.
Yeah. But it was horrible for him. It was horrible for him. He got chicken
for the
pox.
kids.
Yeah, he got chicken pox like 5 days before arriving there to Cancun, in the beach.
Okay.
He got like mommy diarrhea, everything. Like he lost like 2 kilos.
Oh.
It was
But
very hot.
He recovered now.
Yeah. Now he's like even bigger than before.
Yep,
before
super.
we left. Yeah. But I was also hating the heat there.
Okay, the temperature.
Yeah, I mean, I always complain about the weather, but honestly, like it was very hot for me there now.
Yeah. I think I am, I am originally from Egypt, and I am living here in Tromsø since 8 years. So I used to the hot temperature, but when I travel to Egypt for visiting or so, I feel the difference. So I start to adapt myself here.
Yeah, every single time someone asks me in Scotland, oh, from Mexico, it's so far away. What do you do here? And I just, I'm here because of the weather. And everybody laughs. But honestly, now I truly believe it's true because it's kind of cold, but it's mild cold, like Norway, you have actually snow.
Cold, yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
And here, I mean, we have like maybe 5 days of snow maximum. I mean, you can go, of course, like more to the north, and then you will have like
more
places but in general, like in Edinburgh is quite mild.
Yep.
It rains, but it doesn't rain that much. You can just still walk. Which you don't have this tropical rain, like you really get wet from one corner to the next. I think I really like the weather in here.
Yep.
Yeah. So far,
you
so
adapt.
good.
Your body is adapted to it, so you accept it now.
Yeah, I think from the beginning, because in Mexico, even you can have like, because I'm from Mexico City, so we have like big buildings. So in the morning when you go to work and you have the shadow, it really gets cold.
Yeah.
And if you wear like hats or gloves, everybody will be like, oh, why are you so overdressed? You know what I mean? Like people just have like a normal jacket and that's pretty much it. But in here, I've just discovered the magic of wearing a hat. It actually changed a lot, the temperature.
Yep.
And in here, it's quite normal to use like a hat and gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy to manage. So I feel even colder in Mexico when it's cold.
Yep.
Yeah. And also the technology from weathering, like what clothes in here, like these thermodynamics things, like it's very light, but then it's still hitting you. So we don't have that in Mexico that much, right? It's more like the fancy coat, and it's very heavy.
All, yeah.
Yeah. So far so good. So I have a friend from Egypt as well.
Sorry, you have a friend from Egypt?
Yeah.
At your university or at your institute?
He's actually in entrepreneurship at the business school.
Okay.
And he did a startup actually.
Okay.
Kind of like a Deliveroo app, but in Edinburgh, and it was quite good. But then because of COVID, I think things changed. More competition was there and things like that. But yeah.
Yep.
I always say good things about Egypt, though.
Yeah, Egypt is a beautiful country, but the economic situation now is very bad, unfortunately.
Yeah. But he said we shouldn't go by ourselves.
You shouldn't, or you should?
Like we shouldn't.
This depends on. So now I think it's secured. It's not as 2 years ago, for example. 2 years ago, I don't think it's wise to go to Egypt because the security situation there was very bad. But now I think it's under control somehow.
Yeah, I think I would manage. I mean, I'm from Mexico City.
Yeah. You know how things is going in such big cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't think we should wait. Okay, Debbie is here.
Okay, sorry about that.
Super, no problem. So I think we can start. Actually, there is 2 interview, but I would like to present only one of them. So one of them was a geologist who established his company, and the main conclusion of this interview is that he established his company, and because he don't have the right business skills, he failed and he lost around 200,000 euro. And after that, after 5-6 years, he again established another company, but this time he got the right skills, not by himself, but he hired persons who have the right skills. And the main conclusion from this interview is that if the person start to establish a business without the correct skills or the correct knowledge, he or she will lose money and lose time because he lost six years until he establishes the second one. And of course, he reflect on that, and he says that it's important as a student, if he would like to return back to his master study, to get courses that teach him the soft skills, the business skills that he missed. So this is the conclusion of this interview. So I would like to not go for this interview because now you know the main conclusion of it. But of course, as I said, I will send you the link for all the page, which include all the sets of the interview. And I would like to present another interview to cover another field, which field of IT and artificial intelligence. And after that, we have, as I said, this interview will take 1 hour, almost 1 hour, 50 minutes or so. And then we will get like 10-minute discussion, and we will discuss after that. Maybe I can present something that will help you when you are designing your project. And we discuss your project, the idea of your project, and then you can go ahead for or conclude the day, and we'll meet after that. So I will try to share my screen. And again, if the sound is not good or so, just give me a sign by sending a comment. Maybe I can share this actually. Yep.
Today we have our guest speaker or guest for this interview, Knut Johansen. Knut is the CEO and the founder of Smart System. I think this is one of the promising startup in Norway, maybe in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very, very interesting company or startup. You are using artificial intelligence solution to maintain infrastructure.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So I think Knut is can give us some feedback about his background, what he think about the business sector, how business sector can integrate, and how it can work with academia in order to build better future for Norway and for Europe in general. So maybe Knut, you can introduce yourself a bit, and what's your background, academic background, and what you are doing now?
Yeah. Thanks. And first of all, thanks for the invitation and for letting me tell you about eSmart, which is something I really like to do. When it goes to my background, I have a Master of Science degree from the University of Technology in Trondheim, and have worked as a research scientist for about 10 years before I founded the first company. And the last almost 30 years, I have funded and be a part of a startup scale-up companies within energy and IT, and especially AI, which we are focused a lot on these days. So that's a short version.
Yeah. But for me, this is maybe a bit strange. You said that you are have a master degree in science,
Mm.
and you worked 10 years in academic field,
Mm.
like research assistants and researcher,
Mm.
but you ended to open your startup, your company. So
Yes. Mm. Just to give you a little bit more background about that, I've worked very much with applied AI and applied IT, and very much in direct contact with energy companies around the globe. And so the kind of the innovation and R&D part of that was in the kind of the medium horizon, 2-3 years before you could use it in the market. So that's a very good background as I see it, to kind of dive into the startup and scale up area with innovations. So I'm really glad I had the opportunity to work for Institute for Energy Technology here in Halden for almost 10 years. So that was a good platform for the steps we took and also are working with now. Mm.
yeah, maybe you can tell us a bit more about eSmart.
Yeah, I can do that. eSmart Systems, we started with a very strong belief in AI and the technology, especially because we saw in 2012 about that the computer power, the ability to handle enormous amount of data and the AI algorithms kind of came together in a kind of joint force, in the kind of nexus of the forces, if you like, and that it was kind of the main driving force for us to focus on developing AI for the energy industry. So we tested the AI on different areas, for example, more in the energy market direction, and then optimizing local power and solar power and flexible load and that type of things. And we also focused quite a lot on the electric vehicles and how we could kind of implement that in the energy system. And finally, we focused a lot on using the technology on infrastructure like power lines and power assets. And after we have tested different directions, we ended up with focusing on the infrastructure part, and especially the power assets, as I said, simply because the absolutely largest asset we have in the world is the transmission grid. Is 37 million kilometers with transmission grid in the world, and that's an enormous market for eSmart. And as you know, innovation is two things. It's kind of the technology itself, or what you focus on to develop as a product, and it's the business model connected to that product. So that's, for me, is the definition of innovation, and that means that you need to also make sure that you are able to find a market and find the business model for bringing that innovation into the market, and we've done that. It's I need 1 minute, in fact.
Yeah, please.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I have a friend. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So that means that I mentioned the transmission grid, and underneath the transmission grid, you also have the distribution grid, and that which is even bigger than the transmission grid, and we focus on both. So if you look at the market, it's as I said, a giant market, and we have as far as we know, we have the best solution in the market based on AI, and the core there is to detect objects and defects in the grid by using AI.
Okay, using AI, how you are monitoring? This is just outside the interview, but it's just for my interest.
Yeah.
How you are monitoring the grid using AI?
The way we do it is, you know, you have a lot of sensors and equipment in the grid measuring kind of current and voltages and all that. So we also have that type of information into the system, but the main part is the visual information like images and also infrared images and 3D LiDAR based images. So and we use those images as input to the models we have, the AI models, and we train the models to detect different type of defects in the images. And it's also a very important part of the application that, or the product, that we are able to connect those images directly to the assets, the real assets out there. I mean, if you have an image, it's just an image with pixels, but you also need to know where it is in the grid. So all that is in place, and we do that kind of identification also through AI.
Yep. It's very interesting project, I think.
It is.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I would like to come to a point that you highlighted, but maybe I will come to later, because you said that you need science, or you need the code behind the artificial intelligence code, and then you link it to the business model in order to establish something successful.
Yeah.
But before I come to this point, I would like to ask you a question. You said that you are worked as a researcher for 10 years. You had or you have a master degree. So why you didn't think about continuing this process, getting PhD, go to the academia, and so on?
Yeah, it is. What I realized when I worked as a researcher was that I had a lot of brilliant colleagues there with brilliant ideas, but the ideas tend to be in the research institute and not out in the market. So I was kind of very motivated to try to get that brilliant ideas and brilliant software out in the market. That was my kind of main motivation, simply because it's a lot of top-notch people there in the research institutes in Norway. So we have a really highly qualified group of people. What we need in Norway is to link that more to business and more to grow existing business and establish new business. So I was kind of, and he's very motivated by that part, to be a part of the innovation process, but also bring it out in the market and create a business around that ideas. And as I see it, the absolutely most difficult part of that is the so-called crossing the chasm, where you on the left side of the chasm has the innovation activity, that means that as a startup, for example, you are able to sign contracts with R&D departments in the big utilities. That's on the utility side in that context is techies there also, and you speak the same language, and it's a lot of enthusiasm around the technology itself.
Mm.
But the other side of the chasm is the operation. So from innovation to operation, that's the giant leap you need to be able to handle if you plan to bring a startup to a scale up, a successful scale up. So and the main challenge when it comes to that is that as I just said, that the innovation part you have one type of customer. On the operational part, a completely different type of customer.
Yes.
The engineers in utilities, for example, they don't have a clue about technology and AI necessarily, but they are very focused on getting the tools they need to be more efficient to help them in their daily operations. So that means that you need, for example, very good subject matter expertise in the company that are also able to talk the language they speak on the customer side and understand the inspection as such. So we have worked very much with that kind of bridging that gap between innovation and operation. So and it's really good to see that we have succeeded with that now. We have inspected more than 20,000 kilometer with the power lines in the US, for example, and we have detected more than 15,000 defects, and we have the AI-based system we call Grid Vision now out in operation with great success. So it's but that is the kind of the area I see where we have the biggest challenge when it comes to startup and scale-ups.
Yeah. Maybe I will use this point and return back a few years ago.
Yeah.
When you decide to move from the academia to the business. You have a pure background in academia and research, and then you decide to go to the business based on your motivation to develop society using the AI. So how you did that? Since you don't have this experience in the business, how you succeeded to establish your first company or the core of the startup?
Yeah. That is when I think back on the first startup we did, also as early as in the late 90s, where we developed the world's first power exchange, in fact, and delivered that to the Nordic Power Exchange. And after that delivery, we delivered it to California, to Germany, to France, and quite a lot of other places around the globe. And at that time, we had deep knowledge about the technology and also the area itself when it comes to power trading but we didn't have a clue about business.
Yep.
So we were researchers, and it started from that starting point. And of course, when you do that, and we had a group of people with a lot of guts and a very strong ethical platform, and the teamwork was great, and as it is in eSmart. But we had to build up the business experience while we developed the company, so to speak, and that was a really hard thing to do. So thinking back in that context, it is, I think it's a very good idea if you look at this kind of challenge from education point of view. It is to mix different type of topics in education, like financials, for example, and understand how the financial markets works, for example, how to do the investment and grow a company from that context, and the technology part, which is also a very vital part of this. So you have also people in the company that are able to understand more than just one kind of narrow area. That is one thing I have reflected around based on the because when I took my master was 95% technology. So So very, very good platform, but the business part was not there. So
Missing.
mm,
It was missing. Yes.
mm.
So how many, if you calculate how many months, how many year you used or you lose to make this transformation? So if we say, for example, when you're studying your master, you already get some courses related to business or so,
Mm.
and you decided to make your business.
Mm.
Uh, I think this would be much faster than what you did. So if you try to give us like a number in year, months for this
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, it is. I think it is um, some kind of different aspects when it comes to that question. And let me start with one part which is connected to the ability to understand what you are good at and what you are not good at, and what you need. And in that context, I think when we started up, we realized quite soon that we needed to add on people with that competences we needed, and we didn't have ourselves. So we're quite, I would say we lost maybe 2 to 3 years before we kind of understood what we needed, so to speak. So that is but I also think it's more the other part of this is that if you start a company with that knowledge from the beginning, you are able to build the right platform from the beginning. Which is, for example, I have been a part of scale up courses at MIT, for example, and followed Bill Olet, which is one of the great guys in that area. And a lot of the ways to think, for example, to focus on your beachhead market, to focus on your business, your minimum viable business product, as we call it, very early is important things to do. And we, even if we did that in a way in the beginning, we were not kind of, was not focused. We should focus more on that part in the beginning. So it is. I think it's very good if you are able to combine that the cross fertilizing in a way different type of topics, and have that platform in the beginning. That is a very good, the best starting point you can have.
Yep.
Mm.
One question to this, I will return to this point, your suggestion about how we can link academia with business. But before this question, I would like to ask you, currently, do you have still link with academia, with university somehow?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have strong links, and we have continuously kind of we add on PhD students and master students, and we have done that since the very beginning. In fact, when we started eSmart. And that the effect from that is fantastic. It's absolutely the right way to do it, to bring in the students when they are in the final 2 years, for example, of their education or their PhD, and let them work with real problems, real challenges out there. Means for a business like eSmart that it's very easy to continue with the people who has been through that process. When they start working for eSmart, they have a couple of years with experience from eSmart, and they have also been able to test themselves if this is something they want to do, or they want to go in another direction. That means that the hiring process itself have a much higher probability for success also, because you have that process. So it's a lot of advantages by having a close collaboration between universities and businesses like eSmart. So
So the eSmart go to the university, like the academic or the PhD students are based at university, and you are going to them with projects or idea and they helping you, or you getting the PhD and the master students to eSmart and training them at eSmart?
It's in a way both ways for us. It is what we have used is called Nærings PhD. It's a special kind of program for connected to the industry, where the Norwegian Research Council are the funders, so to speak, or partly funding the PhD process for the student, and that has been a very good way to kind of handle that type of processes for eSmart. So that's one way to do it, which we really think is a good way. So, but it's also other ways. But to mention one success in that context is the so-called Nærings PhD.
Okay. And this is a research council project or program.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's umbrella link industry plus and the university.
Yeah, exactly. So you need both. You need to have a responsible university and professor for that specific topic, and then you need a business, a company that can kind of be the mother company, so to speak, for the program or the tasks or the student focus on.
Yes, but if I understand correct from you, this is a project. So you are applying for project for a specific task, and then you have two head, one in business, one in academia, and underneath you there is PhD and master students are working. But there is nothing existing at the level of bachelor and master level. I mean, fixed curriculum, fixed courses that's standard at the university.
No, the program I just mentioned, the PhD program I just mentioned is I haven't seen similar kind of programs for masters and bachelors, and that's a very good idea. It should be something similar there, as I see it, because it's a very good way to make sure that you get kind of a very good fit between when the student are finished their education and they start in a company. So it should, that's a good idea, I think, to see if it's possible to develop that part also in the same direction. So that's.
But from your experience, since eSmart large startup, and from your introduction, I can see that you are working in different countries and in Europe, in America, and in different countries. From your experience, do you think this such program like NARI, this umbrella that collect business and academia, is existing somewhere else?
I haven't seen it outside Norway, in fact. But what we have done, we have brought in people from other countries like Vietnam, like US, like France, for example, Germany, and into Norway, and they used the program in that context. But we haven't seen it in outside Norway so far. It could be that other countries have the same thing, but we haven't used it.
Okay. Yeah. So now I will return back to one of your sentence that you said at the beginning of the interview, that you need both. You need academic and you need business. And you reflect a bit about that. You said that you lose 4 years, 5 years, because you don't have this this background at the beginning. So what you are suggesting in order to cover this gap in the current courses that we have at university?
Yeah, I think first of all, we need a close collaboration between universities and businesses, and make sure that the incentives from the government are kind of right when it comes to that. One example is that it tend to be a little too much paperwork, so to speak, connected to this. And so you are kind of, you have a lot of disturbances for a business like eSmart. So it should be a more smooth process to do the Nærings PhD type of activity. So one thing is to kind of help the government bodies that are responsible for this, like the Research Council, to kind of develop the program so it fit into the business part in a good way, so you can use it for the kind of developing the competitive advantage you need for winning in the market. So that is one thing, and I also think that in Innovation Norway they have the so-called cluster programs, where they have business clusters, industry clusters around in Norway. And we have established two clusters, one for energy markets and one for AI, applied AI. And I think it's a good idea that to use that type of clusters much more direct in this context also. So you can kind of connect the clusters and the management of the clusters to the Research Council, for example, and make sure that you are able to exchange experiences and use the cluster structure to help businesses to increase their number of candidates through that type of programs. So that is something I really believe in, because if you have a business cluster, you have already the dialogue between, for example, companies focusing on AI, and all of them, today all of them need more kind of top-notch people from the universities into their business, and to use the cluster as a glue between the research institutes, the universities, and the businesses. It's really something I think it's right to focus on and develop more around.
Yeah. So you mean that we use the existing sort of structure, this cluster things that connect different companies, and we try to hook to this cluster the university.
Exactly.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So just to give you an example from the AI cluster here in the south part of Norway, we have kind of all for example the AI teams in Nail in Trondheim. Partner Tromsø is also involved in parts of the activity here, and also the so-called Nora network with the quite a lot of universities kind of combined into a common force, so to speak. So the AI cluster we have here is an umbrella for all that type of or almost all that type of institutions in Norway. But in addition to that, you have the business side. So you have the research institutes, you have the universities, and you have the business organized in a cluster. That means that you can have workshops in the core of what we are talking about now, and invite students, for example, to be a part of that and iterate around ideas and establish kind of new project based on that, where we include students in their kind of final part of their education, for example, master's work or PhD work. So that is something I strongly believe it's a good way to do it, simply because Norway have used the last 15-20 years to establish good clusters, industry clusters.
We need to use it.
Exactly. So I think it's a much better idea to kind of use the existing structure and strengthen that in a bit different direction than establish completely new ones.
Yes,
So
I agree.
so that's Yeah.
And this is good. Maybe I reflect about our project, the Cloud Earth Eye. That is, this interview is part of it. I think our idea in this Cloud Earth Eye is almost similar. We try to bring business sector, academia, in order to um, find a better way of communication. And we are focusing on some fields that is related to environmental science and big data. Uh, so I think this is a very good idea. But this idea, I think it's work for the high level research. Like you are looking for a special problem, you need something in your company to solve, and this means that you need postdoc or you need PhD students who have a good experience to jump and try to help. But if we start to speak about the level of bachelor students, what do you suggest for facilitating this dialogue between business and academia?
Yeah, very interesting, interesting question, and also something we really should reflect a lot around, because it's important. But let me start with just to give you a brief introduction of how we think when it comes to AI, which is the core in what we focus on when it comes to technology. So you have 5 steps in an AI process you need to complete, or you need to handle to deliver a kind of AI with real benefits from out there in the reality, so to speak, or in the operation, as I mentioned earlier on. The first step is to collect all the data you need from the processes. In our context, is about the images and sensor data from the grid, from the transmission grid, for example. So that's the first part, and that itself is quite complex, because it's huge amount. You mentioned big data, and a huge amount of data here. You need to handle that very fast. You need to handle that according to the security requirements you have. You need to handle that in the cloud. You need to deliver it and exchange the data with a lot of customers through the cloud. And that first step is you have a lot of areas to improve if you see where the technology is today, where you can add on bachelor work, you can add on master work, and you can add on PhD work.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I agree. Yes.
So if you go to the next step, the step number 2 is there you have what we call to get the data ready for the AI models. You need to enrich the data, so you have enough data to train the AI models. And that step number 2, it's also about quite a lot of complex software where you are able to generate thousands and thousands of images you can use in combination with the actual images from the grid, for example, to have enough training data for detecting defects, for example, like flashed insulator or broken insulators or that type of things. So when you have done all the data AI ready, then and that box is also exactly the same thing. There you have, if you look at the Norway as a whole to strengthen the competitive advantage in Norway, that box itself is the same as the first box. You have a lot of things to do there, and on bachelor, master, and PhD work. So if you move into the third box, where you have the training itself, it starts to be more specialized. So in that part, it's probably that's where we have a lot of focus on the PhD level, simply because you need to dive deep into the tech Yeah, it's very important to understand the tech in depth. So that's the area where we focus a lot of PhD candidates and also the fourth box, when you have done the training and have the kind of models ready for use, then the fourth step is to put the models and the algorithms into industry grade architecture. And again, there you have a more there you also have a very strong need of PhD candidates, because it's very complex and you need to dive into into a lot of details and very hard kind of R&D topics to be able to develop further that part. And the last part, the number 5 steps and the final step here is where you do where you deliver the outcome from the algorithms, like user interfaces, like interfaces to all the databases and all that. And again, that's a very broad area when it comes to competencies and need, and there you have exactly the same as the two first boxes, where a lot of needs for bachelor, master, and PhDs. So it is so that value chain is something all companies in the world, in fact, need to focus on if they their ambition is to deliver AI for industrial use. So that's kind of one way to describe the need, I think, and in our context.
Yeah. So in summary, you are saying that there is two type of problems: simple problems that enough for master and bachelor students for small project, and deeper problems that need researcher and PhD who can do the deep thinking.
Yeah. What we also see there is that some of the really great guys and girls we have in the company, they have started with a bachelor. They have moved into a master and ended up with a PhD
at the company.
Yeah,
at Smart.
in that context I mentioned now. So that's also a very good way to do it. So if you do that in a business context, it's a perfect kind of candidate for a job in a company. So there's no doubt about that.
I have still several questions actually, but I would like to return to this point that you have bachelor students finish his master, finish his PhD at eSmart. If you have a position at your company and you would like to hire someone, where you will looking for, who you will try to find, will you looking for someone who is deeply to the scientific problem, to the AI, to the data analysis, or you are looking for someone who is deeply in the business, who is oriented to the business, or how you choose it?
Yeah, the answer is yes, so to speak, because you need all of them.
Okay.
It depends on the position in the company. Just to kind of explain how we develop the product and release it to the market, you have a kind of different waves here. The first wave is if you start with a minimum viable business product and the functionality in that core. And but the next step is to enrich the functionality there and even add on more modules or big pieces to the product. And then you are into the next wave. And it's too late to start that wave when you have finished the first wave, so to speak. So you need to, and in a starting point on the first phases, you always need the innovation and R&D part in a business like eSmart. So that means that it's a lot of work on the product and releasing the product and different versions and new versions out in the market when it comes to the first wave. But at the same time, we need to have R&D activities on the next stage for the product. So to test different type of ways to the goal and see what works and not works, and make sure that we have done the right choices when we move it into the product. And all that innovation activity is something we also have to do in parallel with the product delivery out there.
Yep.
So that means that yes, we need the people who focus on the customer, the product, what we deliver today, and we need more R&D type / innovation type of thinkers that can prepare the next great functionality for the customers. So that is the way it works in a company like eSmart.
But do you think, from your experience, did you had problem before with the mismatch of the skills of students or employee that working with you? Like you hired someone who is deeper in IT, but for some reason he start to create problems because he don't have this talent in the business, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is what I will say is a well-known problem in the industry, that if you focus on the technology and just the technology and don't understand the customer needs and the business the customer focus on, over time it's a hard gap to bridge. So if you are not able to bridge it yourself as an employee in a company, so I think to again back to the education and how we can combine things. If a very good IT person also understand enough about the business, start with the development of I think that will be a very good way to handle that challenge. So the best people we have had, and that's a reality the last 5 years, that I have seen that the people who understand the programmers, for example, who develop the software, who also understand deeply the customer needs, they are highly valuable for the company because they know what to focus on.
Yes.
If you are a techie, it's always easy to love the technology itself, and okay, the customer are there, but the main focus is the technology is something really exciting when the new technology and so on. It's not necessarily what the customer needs. So it is a combination there. It's very important to bridge that gap.
Yeah. This is funny when you are saying that. This will bring me to a question again to reflect on this point. Did you find a problem, for example, with someone who is very intelligent, he is deep to the IT, and you give him or to her a project, and for some reason he just focused on that and he didn't care about the deadlines of the project, so he didn't care about the business model behind what he is doing?
Absolutely. And that is also one of the challenges when you are in the kind of in between product delivery and R&D, because the more kind of research focus you have, the less focus you have on the deadlines, so to speak, because it's in a way the way it works. You are working with an idea or an innovation research, and you don't really know what you will end up with, so to speak, the outcome of that.
Yes.
So it's, but in a business context, it's very important to do that R&D in a kind of with focus on how you can apply it on the reality. So that's a bit different focus if you compare with the more pure research. So that combination is very important to handle. So people with a heavy research background like myself, one of the other advantages I have that I've worked a lot with customers also as a researcher. So in that context we had deadlines
Yes.
and that pressure on us we needed to focus on. But it is a challenge it is a challenge when you have great PhD people in the company with tons of experience and really top-notch brains, that they to also kind of make sure that we all focus on the main goal we have, to that, and that is that R&D should end up be a brilliant functionality for the customer with a great benefit from the customer. So, but that's not only something on the people with that type of competencies shoulders, is also on the company, because you need structures in the company to handle that, so people know what to focus on and know what kind of requirements they have, and so that's also a clear company responsibility to deliver that type of things. And we use a methodology in eSmart called OKR, objects and key results. That's the same methodology Google used from the very beginning, for example. Meaning that you have defined clearly the objectives for the companies, the main objectives, and you have also defined the key results underneath those objectives, down to the teams, down to the individuals. So in that, if you do that the right way, then it's much more easier for all in the company to see where can I fit in the value chain and what I have to deliver to do my job. So that's not only on the each of the employees side. It's definitely a company responsibility to deliver that framework for each and everyone.
But of course, if the employee already has this skills, he will help you or she will help you.
Yeah, exactly.
I have 3 more questions. One of them regarding the environment at the academia. Sometime when I speak with colleagues here or there or Germany or somewhere else, I think some of them, they say that here at university we train students with basic research, basic information, and we don't want or we don't need to give them such cross-disciplinary skills or some skills related to business. So can you reflect on this statement? Do you think this is correct, that the role of the university is just to give pure basic research or pure basic foundation of science?
No, I think, as I see it, the objective for the universities should be to kind of train and educate the students so they are best possible can handle a job in industry. If of course you have people who want to focus on basic research, and that's a different group of people. But when I say what I say now, it's in a business context what we need from the universities. So we need the best brains in the industry, focusing on the technology we need to have to have the best possible competitive advantage out there. So I mean that, and back to the industry clusters again, and the collaboration between research institutes and the university and industry. In that context, if you kind of develop that further and then come to cover what we have discussed now, I think that can be an excellent way to make sure that the students, when they are finished, fit perfectly into a specific job in the industry and can contribute from day one. So I think that is something Norway should focus much more on when we move forward, simply because it's a race out there, and it's all about winning contracts in the international markets for a company like eSmart. And if you are not best in the world, you will lose. So,
Yes.
it is so important. Even a niche we focus on, it's a lot of competition, and if we are not able to get the good enough candidates or prepared enough candidates from the university, it's not it's a disadvantage when it comes to being competitive enough out there.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. And maybe I can add not only in the business sector, but in other sectors. So if you a government institute and you are hiring someone at a government institute, which is a bit far away from the business, again, you need to have persons who have some skills to handle problems. Yes.
Exactly.
So, what do you think about the main challenge to collaborate business skills in academia?
Yeah, a good question. I think it is if you look into the business itself, it tend to be a lot of very high activities in all parts of a business like eSmart, and to make sure that you are able to kind of free up or dedicate people to take care of what we have discussed now. It's one very important part. So that can be a challenge for a startup with limited resources and stressed resources. So that is something you as a scale up need to focus on, because otherwise you will when you kind of move forward, it will be more and more difficult, and you will be hit as a company because you haven't focused on that early enough. So it's not easy, but you have to do that. So that's one big challenge. From the university, if you try to look at it from the
University site, yeah.
Then I would say that you need the professors and advisors in the universities that really understand the business also, that are motivated to work together with the businesses like eSmart and understand that type of needs we have. And again, some professors like to focus on the basic research, and that's a choice.
Makes sense, yeah.
But if you have that motivation to contribute in a business context, I think it's extremely important that also the professors and the advisors in the universities, they focus on establishing very good relations with businesses, and also see and try to do their analysis is where the students and the programs can contribute best in the business. So it's a kind of from both sides. So if you are able to kind of have that in place, I'm absolutely sure that you will have a very fruitful collaboration and with high value both for the university and for the business.
Yeah. Because business try to go to the academia try to go to the business, and they will meet somewhere in the midway between them.
Exactly. And one meeting place, network place, is the clusters I mentioned. So
yes, I agree. I have one question which is not so related to the interview, but it's a bit related to the project, the Cloud Earth Eye project. Your company eSmart is working with big data. So what do you think about the future of the big data? If we speak about future of big data for innovation, for green technology, for green shift?
That is, I mean, it's all about the data, as I see it. And it's crucial for all kind of activity to be able to meet the climate goals, for example, to have a net zero emission within a few years now. You really need to handle the big data and the data flow in the best possible way. So and it's all about, as I said, back to the 5 steps for being able to deliver AI. The two and three first steps there is about data.
Yes.
And it's not easy. And if you look into the industry, different type of industries today, you will see that what they struggle most with is to collect the data and prepare the data for the AI. So to be able to do the green change and do what we need to do when it comes to the climate change, it's absolutely prerequisite to handle the data, the big data challenge in a good way. So the good thing now is that we see a lot of good technology there, but it's still a huge amount of work to do.
Challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I finished this part from my side, except that I would like to say that I am very proud of eSmart. I came to eSmart actually two weeks ago when I was searching for your name, and I said, okay, this is a startup, but it's a big company. So I am really, really proud of it. I wish you all the success, and I hope we can find this midway between academia and the business. So,
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tom, and same to you. Thanks a lot for having me. It's great for me to be able to inform about what we do, and also your questions was in the core of what I think we need to focus on when we move forward. So thanks a lot to you also.
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Well, so I think maybe we have like 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so before we conclude the day. But I can summarize a bit what we have now from this interview. We can get like 4 or 5 points, like a summary, and then we can discuss it. First of all, first part of the interview, he was highlight the importance of this multidisciplinary courses. And also, he was working in the academia for 10 or 15 years before he moved to the business sector. And this is again to inspire you if you would like to bring your ideas to the business. So this is he all the time says that academia is leading. Academia has the ideas. And this is why he tried to escape from academia to business in order to help society. So I am sure that again you have the best idea, the greatest idea, but maybe you can think about this, about creating your business if you would like to do so. And he highlights few things. Of course, the importance of this cross-disciplinary courses. He highlights the challenge, and in the middle of the interview, he said that one of the challenge to create new PhD is the administration process. He said that when a business or company go to a university to establish new PhD or so, they take a lot of time in the administration. So the administration that we bought from our side as universities, in order to finish things, it also put like some barrier in order to achieve the success. He highlight some challenge like that we as professors or academics who are working for university, we need to know the needs of the business sector. We need to have this background before we start such collaboration. And also the last point that I would like to highlight, that he highlights the same model like Sabina at the first interview. Because if you remember, Sabina interview model is she established like a research program with the business sector, and through this research program, she started to involve master and PhD students in this program. And he tried to suggest the same model. He says that there is a project, and we get fund for this project from the Norwegian Research Council. And through this project, between as activity between academia and business, we enroll PhD students and master students, and start to say that if the problem that we try to solve is a simple problem, we assign bachelor students or master students. If it's a deep problem, we try to find a PhD one. So this is again send us back to the main topic of our workshop, which is the cross-disciplinary courses. Is it should be courses or should be a program that like a research program between business and academia, where the student plays the main role in this program in order to get more knowledge. Also, he highlights something which is not so related to the topic, but he said that it's a benefit for the business that they train bachelor students, and the same bachelor student who are working at the company, they go to the master and they go to PhD. So they are working in close collaboration from the bachelor degree until the PhD as one series, as one project between a university and the company with the same students. So this is, I think, the main point that we can get from this interview. So I don't know if you have comment on that, you have ideas, you have. Okay. No, super. So we hope that now it's clear that or you agree that we need to move ahead. We need to go somehow to think about this a bit, to think if we need to go for this multidisciplinary direction as a courses or as a program or as a mixing between them. Maybe you can start to think about, okay, maybe I have good connection with business sector and I can establish sort of collaboration with the business sector, and through this collaboration, this research collaboration, I can teach my students something. And this is the topic for the last day of the workshop, which I think it will be 8th or 9th of September. So you should present, or you will work on a presentation of a project, an idea. It can be a course, it can be a program, it can be just an idea, and then you can also highlight few things. For example, if you will work on a course, you can first of all try to search for a colleague. This colleague who will cover the second point of this course. So if you are a business person, you need someone who work with mathematics, for example, in order to have this to end member in your course. So you would like to find a colleague in order to help you to design this course somehow. This colleague can be from our group, from here, or a colleague from your department who is not attending the course or this workshop, or someone from other university. So first of all, you need to find this colleague. You need to start to discuss with him or with her the idea, and then just come with very simple idea, like, you know, not a full course content, but just a simple one, or a program, not just not a course, but you can come with an idea. Okay, I don't want to establish a course, but I would like to start a program with a business, like a research project, and through this research project I will teach the students few things. So it's the topic, it's up to you. The methodology is up to you.
So the deadline will be in September, right? The last session?
I can check the deadline. I think it's 8 or 9.
I've got in my diary Friday the 9th.
9th. Okay, it's 9th Friday. Okay.
So that day we will have a session, or
Yeah,
we
it will
just send the information, or
yeah, I will send you 1 or 2 days before the link for the Zoom, and it will be a very short. You know, if we assume that we are 4, because Sarwat, I think he will join us as well. For each one, we'll get like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like a short presentation, and maybe another 10-minute discussion. So we will discuss the ideas that you are presenting. So say each one will have 30 minutes in total. So we assume like 2 hours is enough for that.
So the thing that we have to deliver is just a presentation, or
Yeah,
do we have to
just
write something? Okay.
no, just presentation. Just if you would like to make it in a written form, just go ahead, no problem. So as you like. Presentation is sort of the minimum thing. So few slides about the idea. You can, so these slides can include, for example, the idea. What's your idea, if course or program? Who is the colleagues that who will help you in this idea or who contribute to this presentation? The content of the course, if you will go for the course, and then of course the challenge that you expect, like financial challenge or administration things or credit, how you will give to your students the credit for this course. And maybe you can suggest a few things to solve this challenge. Maybe you can discuss with your colleague in the administration if you can find some fund to support you the course, or some help from them to solve some of this challenge. And then you can just present this, that's enough. Or you can say, okay, I am very happy now with the structure of the course or this program, and I will go ahead for the next step. So as I said that from the previous workshops last year, I think there is 4 or 5 courses which are running now based on this workshop. So they came with just an idea and they start to speak with their head of the institute. They get some money to support these courses, and this courses now is in sort of pilot phases. So maybe you can upgrade your project to this limit, like, you know, it's not just an idea, but I will go ahead further and I try to run a pilot phase. This will be, of course, great. But if you couldn't, it's okay just to present the idea. Yep. Great. Super. So you have my email. I will send you the record for today. If you don't have any question more about this last day presentation, I will send you the today record for the people who are not attending with us. I will send you the link with the full interview list, just if you are interested to go, because I think there is 3 or 4 more interviews that we didn't go through. If you have time, you can just go a bit around them. I think also in this page I have uploaded a small presentation about this. No, actually not. I have a small presentation about this. You have a question, Sigler?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could also send information about if you know about fundings for creating new courses or new programs.
Yes, I will try to do. Of course, you know, you are in UK, but I can ask Sophie. She is working in Edinburgh Innovation, so maybe she knows something, and I can send it to you like source to support if you would like to create new courses or so.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that's all from my side. So I will send this for you. You have my email. I am in contact with you during the next month. So if there is anything, you just drop me an email. I will reply you. Or if you would like to have like a very short meeting, we can just have short meeting during the couple this coming months until this day where you will present the project. And also something just to consider, actually 2 things to consider. The first thing, if you would like to contribute to the Cloud Earth I program itself, if you have a course that you are teaching now and you can offer this course to the student in this 5 university. This will be great if you can come with some suggestion. And an idea that I was thinking yesterday after we conclude our session yesterday, I got an idea and I would like to discuss with you, not today, but maybe in the conclusion day in the 9th of September. Because now we have a lot of information, we did a lot of interview, you have a lot of ideas. Do you think we can summarize this in a short paper, a publication? I have also the record. I have the record of the previous workshops, the 2 previous workshops. I just idea if we can summarize everything in a publication. If you accept the idea, we can send like an email to our colleagues from the previous session, from the previous workshop, and they can join us in like a discussion. And then we can work on something like to summarize what we are discussed, like to reflect on this workshop and the ideas that we got to the scientific community, to document it in a paper. So
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, like innovative approaches for multidisciplinary.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are working with different field, IT, science, business, mathematics. I think there is people from the previous sessions working with linguistic and medicine school and different fields, and then we can reflect on the needs of our society for this multidisciplinary courses from different perspective, and we can summarize the opportunities, the challenges, and our suggestion how we can overcome something like this. So this is just an idea. You can think about it. We can discuss it in the conclusion day in the 9th of September. And if you give us green light to go, we can invite our colleagues from the previous sessions in another sort of 2-hour discussion, 3-hour discussion, and then we can start from there writing something.
Yeah.
Just to maximize the benefit that we can get out from this workshop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Actually, was something I was discussing in like 3 weeks ago. So like we do so many things in academia, like teaching and these kind of things, that we are very used to publish things just in research, other than just what we do for teaching. And then
Yes.
then someone told me we need to start doing that to document things, because otherwise how can we share our experiences?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. There is of course some journals which is dedicated to the education, like to publish such things. But we as a researcher, we didn't focus on that. We are focusing on our research. So when you are publishing your field. No one of us think about to publish our experience in teaching and to document it and publish it to the people, to society. Yeah, so it's just an idea. You can think about it and then we can discuss it. And if you give us green light, we will go for it. Yep.
Definitely.
Super.
Yeah.
Super. Great. So I am very happy to meet you today and yesterday. And I am looking to hear from you during the coming months until the 9th of September. And please, if you need anything or anything is not clear for this presentation, the conclusion presentation, just drop me an email and I will be reply you and we can discuss.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank
See you.
you.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you next.